Hello and welcome to the 8th video in this tutorial series on how to make a planet defense game. In this tutorial we will be using Haxeflixel FlxState to create a separate state that is our main menu. It will just be really simple because I just want to show you how to use states in Haxeflixel. It will just show the text planet defense and then below it press space to begin. So let's start by creating a new file just for this state, and we will save it as menu state.hx like that, and this is in our project, so package semicolon, and then class menu state extends FlxState. Now you may need to import that, and I think that's import Haxeflixel.FlxState like that. And now we can create our, I think we have to override the create method. You can use the playstate class as a reference, so you can see override public function create is the create method. So here we can put override public function create, and then in here we just call super.create. Like that. Now that we've done that, we just have a simple menu state. We can make it be the state that our game begins with. You might remember that we changed this in the original episode. Now we will change it back. So if you go to main.hx, you will see that there's a variable called initial state. Change that from playstate back to menu state, just like that. Now this will be the state that our game begins with. So now that we've done that, let's just put some super simple text on our screen. Let's copy some text code just to save time from our playstate class. Place this below super.create, and here we would just call it title text, just like that. 0, 0 is fine for now, top left, with the full screen's width. For the text, we will just put planet defense. Yeah, planet defense. Yep. For the color, I'm just going to say orange. Now we may need to import FlexColor and FlexText, so let's do that now. Import Flexel.ui.FlexText, and also import Flexel.util.FlexColor like that. And one other thing I want to do is set the I want to set the Y position, so up down. So the X is this, and which automatically gets centered, and the Y, let's set that to be 200. Now we also have to center it. We haven't got that here, and to center it we will just add an extra argument to the set format line, and we will pass it in center. Just like if you look at our playstate, we have, oh no, it's not here, but you know, you've got the alignment as the last argument for set format. Now that should be working. Let's just see if that works. Right, it can't find FlexText. I may have imported the wrong thing. Flexel, yeah, it's Flexel.text.FlexText, not Flexel.ui. Alright, a few errors. Alright, basically we forgot to put var here. Because we don't need to access this text after our create method, I'm not going to put a variable here. I'm just going to put it in our create method, because after we've created this text and added it to the screen, we won't need to alter it again, so we won't need to remember it again. So it's easier if we just put var here, which creates the variable and then sets it to be equal to new flex text. We've also forgotten to import FlxG, so import Haxeflixel.FlxG, and it also doesn't know what orange is. Oh, it's not a color there. Then let's set it to be lime. You can also manually set it to be whatever color you want, but there's only certain colors that have a name in Haxeflixel. But you can set it to be any RGB color that you want. Right, here we go. We've got Planet Defense down the bottom. That's good. Now, it's obviously way too low, so let's fix that. We've set the Y to be 200. Let's try setting that to be 20. Right, there we go. That's where I want it. And let's add some text to say press space to begin. Let's copy all of this. I'm doing a lot of copying and pasting, which generally isn't good when you're programming, but in some cases like this it will save time. So I'm just going to call this variable instructions text. Just like that, and change the text here to be press space to begin, and this will be centered, and I will set the color this time to be coal, which is like a browny reddy color. Now that we've done that, if we should move it down, because otherwise it will appear at the same position as our title. So we can change the 20 to be 50. We might even need to go further. Oh right, I forgot to close. Always make sure that you close your game before you run it in your command prompt. Otherwise it will give you an error, which can sometimes be rather confusing. It'll say error cannot copy to export Windows / blah blah blah. Alright, it's a bit high still, so I'm going to move it down to 100. Now, that's what I want the visuals to look like. Just this simple main menu. You could add images in the background. You could set the background to be a different color by creating that sprite like we did in the Pong series polishing tutorial. But we can do this in the future. I just want to make a bare bones menu state for now, and this will do fine. But despite me saying that, I still want to halve the text size for press space to begin. So I'm just going to change 16 to 8, and that's all of the visual changes I think I'll make this episode. Yep, that's fine. I'm happy with this. Now let's make it so that pressing space actually takes us to a different state. That's the play state. Because of course, play states are just the play state is just a different flex state. So let's override the update method because we want to check this every single frame. So override public function update if Sublime can keep up. And here super.update as we have done in the past. Then here if FlxG dot input keys dot just pressed. So if space was just pressed, it was just pushed down this frame, because remember this is happening over and over 60 times a second, then we should say FlxG dot switch state. Now this super handy simple method just takes a new class that it should move to. So in this case we're just going to say move to a new play state. Now I don't think you need to import FlxState. And that's all of the code that you need to have to make it so that clicking space will change state to FlxState. Now what we're going to do, let's just quickly check that that works. Now if we click space, there we go, it takes us to our game and we can play the game. Now what I want it to do is make it so that when we die, rather than just resetting the state, it brings us back to our main menu. So if we go to our FlxState, you'll see that we have a line here, if lives equals 0, reset game. What I want to change this to is instead of just resetting the game, I want to say flexg.switch state new menu state. Resetting the game might have done this anyway, but it would have meant that we would have lost anything like high scores for that game session, or you know, if you want things to last beyond what after you've died, then you should do this. Now if we run our game, it should work as expected. Alright, we've got our main menu, we click space and we're playing the game. And I'm just going to wait for 3 enemies to come down. Right, there we go, and it took us back to our main menu. Now if we press space again, it will take us back and we will start off the game again from scratch. So thank you for watching this extremely simple episode. It's been a bit of a short one, which is good. Nice and simple. Haxeflixel is quite powerful with states. You can do things like substates, and it's rather useful, but still simple. Thank you for watching, and as usual, if you need any help, you can contact me on Twitter with @5mixer, and you can also look at all of the code for this episode on GitHub, and I'll put a link to those in the description as per usual. Thank you for watching.